យើងខ្ញុំព្រះករុណាសូមក្រាបថ្វាយបង្គំព្រះពុទ្ធព្រះធម៌ព្រះសង្ឃជាទីសក្ការៈសូមគោរពជំរាបសួរឯកឧត្តមសាស្ត្រាចារ្យបណ្ឌិតដំឆ័ត្រអរីអគ្គស្ថាបនិកអគ្គមេបញ្ជាការឧត្តមក្រុមប្រឹក្សាខ្មែរជួយខ្មែររំដោះជាតិជាទីគោរពដល់ខ្ពង់ខ្ពស់និងសូមជម្រាបសួរបងប្អូនខ្មែរទូទាំងសកលលោកនេះជាកម្មវិធីទស្សនៈស្ត្រីលើកទី15ថ្ងៃនេះយើងមានប្រធានបទស្ដីអំពីតើអាចរំដោះបានរបៀបណាយើងខ្ញុំទស្សនៈស្ត្រីនឹងបកស្រាយជាភាសាអង់គ្លេសមានដូចតទៅ Good evening and welcome back to Supreme Council of KHMER for Rescue Khmer Lady Viewpoint, our number 15 show. And now I would like to introduce our panelists this evening. Right now we have Ms. CHHYNA SITH and we have Ms. KALYAN NOU. And my name is CHHOVY. I am your host tonight. Tonight we have another exciting topic to share with our audience. Our topic tonight is how would the liberation be possible. But before we start, we have a short video to share with everyone this evening. Bong Mani, please start the video.
We just need to come back to the video.
So do you want me to come back later?
Yes, we can come back.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me start our show. Ladies and gentlemen, our topic tonight will open many eyes of the people who are doubting us, of Lokpatian's ability to do what he has been saying in the last 2 years. Lokpusorpai has covered this topic during our roundtable show in April of this year. This is a great opportunity for us ladies to try to do the same, but this time in English version, to share with Khmer that has a limited understanding of Khmer and our other English-speaking audience worldwide. Lady, the word is liberation. Seem to have, an awfully bad stigma to it. But unfortunately, Lokpatian's way of liberation is not like we used to thinking. However, if Hun Sen refused his offer, the old traditional liberation could be arranged. But from knowing Lokpatian, he is always 10 steps ahead of his enemies, and he always have exit solution in his favor. Okay, before I get ahead of too much of myself, I should get our show started. So tonight we are going to cover the following area in 3 segments. First one, when is Lokpatian going to liberate Cambodia? 2, does the Supreme Council of KHMER for Rescue have the capacity and capability to fulfill this difficult and serious mission? 3, do we have the right to overthrow this current barbarian government? These are, the common question that we have heard for the last 2 years. Now we are going to cover this 3 segments, and we will do our best to do our time limitation. You know what? I will ask both of you ladies to share your thought on three this question. So let us start with On Kalyan tonight to lead off our first segment. And On tonight, anytime you could jump in when you can. And here we go. As our supporter have asked us all so many times, and the famous question is, when is Lokpatian going to liberate Cambodia? Okay, On Kalyan, please share your thought.
Right, Bong, I think the video is ready. So before I answer all those questions to you,
great.
Let's watch the video first. Thank you, Lokmani.
Thank you,
play the video.
Contact Phoenix Journal Review. Independent confirmation of the Philippines gold.
Wow, lady, I don't know what to say. You know, it just like it's so powerful. You know, thank you, Bomani, for put up this video together. You know, it's just unbelievable how much powerful His Excellency have. Oh my God. Okay, you know, I'm going to let you thought about this video. You know, on Kalyan first and then on CHHYNA.
So, Bong, this is very powerful
Yes.
video. And, ladies, we have the only one and only Kon Khmer, which is Dr. Ray Chatham, who holds the key to the global financial apparatus. And we are all very proud of him. And I am so proud of myself to be born as Khmer, the same as Lupatian. Thank you, Bong.
Well, Bong, the same way. This is such a powerful video, and you have to be in his circle of finance in order to understand as deep as he is. So for me, I'm still learning myself, and it's like an awe feeling that I am part of his work, and I am part of his team. I mean, there's no word can express how how extremely like it's like
Overwhelmed.
Yeah, it is.
Really overwhelmed. Yeah,
Yes.
that's the only word that I can express. Very overwhelmed that I am in here with him, with you all. Yeah.
Yes, I absolutely, lady. I agree with you. I am so proud, to be Kon Khmer, to be part of the Supreme Council. We all going, as Lopatian always said, that we can work together to liberate our country. I am just like so excited, and I look forward to our future, like to all Kon Khmer future. Thank you very much, lady. And let's start your own Kalyan. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Bong Chavi. Before I start here, first I would like to thank you to all our loyal supporters, especially back home in Cambodia, that have been sending messages, very encouraging messages, to us. Those messages were very incredibly positive, and it keeps us strong. And then I also would like to thank you, Mary Po, for inviting us to visit her and her family back in Long Beach when I was there last month, Bong. Anyhow, Bong, yes, Bong, this is the most popular question. When is Lopatian going to liberate Cambodia? Or yet, it is a $30 billion question. And you know what? I have a $30 billion answers here. You are absolutely right, Bong. The word liberation is a very stigma word. All liberation in the history of mankind always result in bloodshed, especially in the Khmer history. However, Lopatian way of liberation will be different from any other revolutions that we have seen in the history. Back in 1763, when George Washington led the liberation of America from England, it was a very bloody revolution. But for the next 200 years plus, the United States of America has become the oldest democratic on the nation that led the world to the strongest economy and innovated. And Lopatian intends to do the same by bringing the same quality of life to all Kon Khmer. But first, the revolution must secure our motherland from this evil regime that led by Hun Sen as the enemy puppets. And of course, no other than the Vietnamese communists and the Chinese communist government. And I want to assure everyone that is listening to our show tonight, Louboutin is very committed to bringing prosperity to our motherland without bloodshed to all KHMER at any cost. That is why the whole liberation process is being done very covertly at the highest level by the lethal professional teams that Louboutin could secure, which are no other than the member of the Committee 300 and the private military elite teams, such as the former Israeli Mossad, the British MI6, the United States CIA Special Ops Group, and the special military, private military.
Yeah, on Kalyan, this is a very, impressive portfolio of team, but people, they having not, see activity at all on.
Well, I got this comment all the time. These people have no ideas what a revolution process is all about, including myself. But I do know this, especially at the magnitude that Louboutin is dealing with. We are trying to win our country back from the most evil-minded people that have been breaking us, destroying us, but at any opportunity that they had in the last 800 years. And especially since 1939, Ho Chi Minh set out his mission to conquer us, wipe us out from our own land, Bong.
Bong CHHOVY, this is a revolution. It would be out of our protocol to announce our steps every time we want to make our moves, Bong.
Yeah, you're correct on China. In a revolution, we cannot afford to make any public announcements of our moves. Louboutin knows the capability of the Vietnamese communists and how evil they are. And Louboutin is incredibly careful not to leak any information out. And all activities are done at the highest level of secrecy with the independence of each cell and clandestine of each other.
I absolutely agree, Bong. You are correct, Bong Kalyan. We cannot afford to have the Vietnamese send their spies to spoil our plan, and we have only one shot to execute our plan successfully. And I trust Louboutin's strategies, Bong.
Yeah, lady, before we get too far ahead into this, I would like to remind our, audience that Louboutin had got this master plan of liberation plan out, so carefully to the letter of the plan. So Louboutin has planned, this revolution into 4 phases, which we had disclosed in, our #2 show last year. So let me, share it again. Phase 1, strategizing, researching, planning, lobbying, legal preparation, and political positioning. And phase 2, liberation. Phase 3, control and reforming. Phase 4, redeveloping and investing in the future. So on Kalyan, we have, in phase 1 right now. Please share with us, what has taken place right now.
Sure, Bong. We are in phase 1. Again, we must realize that this is an overly complex operation, and we have only one chance to make it happen. Louboutin has already said that he's willing to wait for a good time. And as he often said, saying repeatedly, we, the Supreme Council, KHMER for Rescue, take the issue of KHMER lives very seriously, Bong.
And Bong, the future for KHMER is the leading priority before deciding the minute, the hour, day, month, and year. We need to carefully plan it out thoroughly in order to change the treasonous regime, dictatorship, factionalism, and the corruptions to change, Bong.
Yes, on China, carefully planned must be in place in order to become the legitimate government with a new constitutional power. And we at the Supreme Council, KHMER for Rescue, have considered national interests as a whole. That is, our group do not consider our interests first.
Yes, you know, the Supreme Council of Khmer Help Khmer for Rescue will remove the misery, poverty, you know, hardship and grief of, you know, all Kon Khmer. We, the Supreme Council of Khmer Help Khmer National Liberation operating under Lucrative model as the tear of Khmer, the tear of my nation. It is my blood, lady. I would like to sit in Khmer. ទឹកភ្នែករបស់ខ្មែរខ្ញុំទឹកភ្នែករបស់ជាតិខ្ញុំគឺជាឈាមរបស់ខ្ញុំ Thank you.
Bong, I have to say that this is an extremely strong motto. I completely inspired by the motto every time it is spoken, Bong. So those Khmer traders who help strengthen the foreigners' communists and serve as their puppets have not considered the suffering of Gon Khmer as the owner of the legitimate Khmer land. Instead, they treated Gon Khmer as their slaves.
You know, yes, they have been, you know, treating Gon Khmer as their slave, you know, for 100 years now because of this, you know, competent king.
You know, ladies, you know, the Huns family and the whole CPP are traitors. But soon our nation will have an international event. You know, as the saying goes, where there is an oppression of the people who are the master of the power and freedom, especially the masters of the land, the people of the Savannapum will rise and fight to their death with the traitors, which cannot be avoided. The oppressive forces of the brutal dictatorial traitors will soon be reached at the boiling point, in which they will certainly rise and fight like Burma to recover from the oppression. The young, the old, men, women, the intellectual, the peasant will be rising simultaneously, side by side to fight for their sovereignty and their children's future. Not regretting their struggle to change, Gon Khmer will rise to defeat the puppets, the traitors, Hun Sen's family, the thieves, and the oppressors.
Bong Lopatin is the Supreme Council of Khmer Help Khmer for Rescue Commander-in-Chief, and due to his perseverance of achievement, which is considered to be a personal success, I would probably have to commend him as J. Vadaman VII. Here are some of the quality traits and character His Excellency possessed: Bong Chavi: success, influence, power, knowledge, experimentation, and brilliant wisdom. To build the nation is to provide peace, equality, and prosperity to the people without caste discrimination. Lopatin puts the problem of life and the future of the people first before power and self-interest. Bong, he is a great leader, you know, who knows the griefs, the poverty, the misery, the hardship of our people. He always considers the well-being of the people so that they do not have to go through greater suffering than they currently are, Bong. And a great leader knows way to implement the country to make the nations prosper without having to disrupt their way of life.
Yeah, you are right on CHHYNA. You know, when the country is in jeopardy and the people are so much in pain, people will rise. And Lopatin knows how, you know, pain all Gon Khmer are in right now. You know, the liberation planning is done, and we are just waiting for the right window of opportunity to give the green light to our private military to pull the trigger. You know, this only will take about 24 hours to complete the liberation, and the new Khmer Republic government will take charge. And ladies, Lopatin said 2021 is the year, but if any unforeseen events rise, we must consider it. So do not be surprised. The takedown of the Hun's government would take place, you know, could be next week, even next month.
Wow, thank you, lady, for, you know, providing your comment on our first segment. Now let's go into our next segment. The next segment is also in the form of a question, and the question is, Thus, the Supreme Council of KHMER for Rescue have enough capacity and capability to fulfill this, difficult and serious mission. Kalyan, what do you think of this question? Does the Supreme Council of KHMER can do the job of liberating the country? And Ochina, anytime you could jump in again.
Okay, well.
Bong, in terms of resources, we have more than enough. We have been making enough statements in the last 36 months or more. Who is Lokpa Tien? Lokpa Tien is a unique and the only person on this planet who has this kind of responsibility out of 7 billion plus people around the world. Lokpa Tien is the only person that the United States government, Congress, profile and secure under the Secrecy Act level 3 and level 5. And back in October of the 27th of 2020 last year, Lokpa Tien has been re-ratified and revalidated by the top US government officials and president of the multiple central bank, such as, I have a long list here, bear with me.
Okay.
The Governor, Central Bank of England, the President of Central Bank of the European Union, the Governor, Central Bank of Switzerland, the Chairman of the Federal Reserve System, the Secretary of US Treasury, the US Attorney General, the IMF Managing Director, the Republican US House Leader, the Democratic Speaker of the House, the US Senator's ranking of Judiciary Committee, and the US Senator Chairman of the Finance Committee. Now, this is part of the political cloud and appointment by the highest governing body to recognize Lokpa Tien financial structure or apparatus, of Lokpa Tien.
Well, the Committee 300 officially bestowed on His Excellency Professor Dr. Ray Chadam as the chairman of the UNOITC and as the sole arbiter of all those assets that form the collateral of international combined asset accounts. I mean, the world asset period, Bong, and not to mention, Lokpa Tien holds the most gold globally with 6,370 metric tons, beside one of the international treaties that were bestowed on Lokpa Tien on January the 20th, 1995 was the trilateral, tripartite Trilithium Pact, what we saw on the video earlier. This is the gold commissions that was executed in 1921, the pact between the kingdoms and colonial powers of the world. This is a powerful authority that again bestowed on Lokpa Tien all the gold transaction required his blessings, Bong.
Lady, with today gold price at 1,900 per ounce, that, alone is like almost $400 billion. And you know what, lady, the $400 billion should be, enough to make the Chinese Communist government bow down to, Lokpa Tien.
Yes, of course, Bong. And, those who doubted us are beyond naive. This is not an easy to comprehend with this complex matter in the international financing. But by having Lokpa Tien as the founder, president of the Supreme Council of KHMER for Rescue and Commander-in-Chief of UNOITC, an international legal body authorized to oversee the international treasury, he manages the 9 regions under the international treaties openly and secretly. And our liberation mission is more than doable. Again, those who are not talking, not so good about us, they are clueless about what we are talking about, no matter how hard we try to explain to them, Bong.
That I agree with Bong. Yes, this is more than doable. You are right, Bong Kalyan. Every word you just said, it clears everything. People overlooked most of Lokpa Tien responsibility as the active field senior special operation officer of the Central Intelligence Agency and a permanent member of the Supreme Council Committee 300, or the New World Order of the Shadow World Government. However, Bong, the question is always asked, does the Supreme Council of KHMER for Rescue have enough capacity and capability to fulfill this difficult, serious mission? The answer is yes. The Supreme Council of Khmer has all the resources to liberate and rebuild the Khmer nations for the next 20 years, 30 years, and beyonder. Well, remember that our country today has tens of millions of Vietnamese and Chinese armed forces, and they have been embedded as officials of the royal government. The facts were mentioned earlier. These tasks fell on Kon Khmer. We are the rightful owners of Khmer nations, Mom.
Yes, yes, you are right, CHHYNA. You know, in the face of the dangers that lead us to the loss of our land, we understand that is the most ultimate struggle of Kon Khmer of all walks of life, both inside and outside the country. You know, this is being despite by the communist Vietnam, China, which has all the means and strategy, both in the political and economic, to explore every possible way to make every Kon Khmer in the country as their slave. The ultimate plan is to incorporate Cambodia into the Indo-China Federation, which were led by Vietnam, of course. But you know, we have the Supreme Council, Khmer Help Khmer for Rescue, came out to stop this Ho Chi Minh plan with our core principle master plan, which are the clear principle, the clear plans, the clear directions, and the clear projects. You know, the Supreme Council of Khmer Help Khmer for Rescue has a clear political basis, right principle to overthrow the dictatorial communist traders and put them into the real real Khmer Republic regime with a clear governance.
Yes, you know, on Kalyan, you are correct about the course principle of Supreme Council of Khmer Help Khmer master plan, and you know, I would like to repeat in Khmer again. First one is goal Kaniyo by, second one is pan Kaniyo by, third one is Daniyo by, and the last one Komrong Kaniyo by. Can you lady give, you know, some detail of how we can, you know, overcome this? Do we have enough capacity to do you know, the job? Okay, on CHHYNA, your thought, please, you know, elaborate if you could, to give a little detail of anything that could share with, you know, live with our audience right now.
Bong Chavi, Lok Batin has been planning these revolutions ever since Hun Sen refused to retributions the wrongful imprisonment on December 17, 2010. The master plan has been drawn up to cover any possible scenarios of failure. Over 25 billion US dollar value in gold has been set aside and fully executed agreements with the elite special private forces from the 4 former intelligence agency, like Bong Kalyan mentioned earlier, the Mossad, the MI6, the CIA, and the special private military. Bong.
Yes, you know, planning to liberate Cambodia was drawn up with many contingency. And you know, one Kon Khmer lives safety is Lok Batin priority. Lok Batin is a very, very patient man, but he also a very serious man as well. You know, he understands the deep roots problem of how Kon Khmer got into this problem for the last 800 years, and especially the last 100 years. You know, he knows who the deadly forces and the puppet masters are. So he went after them with everything he has, and in capacity of the man who holds the most gold. And you know what I mean by that, huh, ladies? You know, in the last few months, all the puppet masters, the Vietnamese communists and the Chinese communists have agreed to remove their hands from Cambodia to protect their own skin, of course. You know, the other day we all saw the rush of boats rushing down the river, going back to their country. You know, those boats owners must have got a signal from their bosses to pull back. And during the UNTAC transition period before the election, the 1993, the UNTAC peacekeeping troops were about 20,000 members strong. Under Lok Batin leadership, the Supreme Council of Khmer Help Khmer for Rescue will be equipped with more than 20,000 troops and technical assistance to keep the country from falling into chaos and to rebuild this broken country. And the world community spent about $2 billion for the historical peacekeeping. And Lokpatian has earmarked an unlimited amount of funds to ensure a peaceful and successful transition into prosperity life for all Kon Khmer. This means that the rebuilding process could cost more than $100 billion. And this is, ladies, should not be a problem for Lokpatian.
Yes, as you mentioned in our last show, we will, be a great economics. There will be a great economic stimulus, program to get the country, on its feet again and bringing, migrant worker back home. Okay, on CHHYNA, what is the master plan for the 80% of our people that, are suffering from the COVID-19 right now and debt economy in, in the last 18 months or more on?
Well, the economic stimulus program that Lokpatian has earmarked was never seen by Cambodia or in the country in the region. It will be more like what are experiencing in the United States of America. Lokpatian has earmarked an unlimited amount of economic stimulus budget to ensure that we, Kon Khmer, will receive prosperity as other countries have been enjoying while the country was in turmoil for 71 years. Those who are homeless will be taken off the street and be put into safe and clean housing environment, which is currently owned by the tycoon who earn their wealth through corruptions of illegal activities. The other significant things will be like the land allocations to those returnees, migrants, workers, and farmers who are, landless to the farming to support their families, Bong.
Yes, CHHYNA, you are correct on multiple masses of funds will be injected into the Central Bank of Cambodia to revise the debt economy and issue salaries to all the government employees that this current regime have not paid them. And the new standard pay scale will be established to provide a quality pay for everyone to live with dignity as a human being.
Thank you, Lei, for sharing your thought on our second segment. And now we are down to our last segment for, for tonight. This segment is about our right of as Kon Khmer. The question is, do we have the right to overthrow the current barbarian government? What do you think, on KALYAN, does the Supreme Council of Khmer Help Khmer for Rescue have the right to overthrow this, barbarian government?
Yes, ladies and Kon Khmer around the world that are watching us tonight. Yes, we as Kon Khmer have the right to protect our sovereignty and our culture. And per international law, the overthrow of this communist dictatorship is unavoidable. Expulsion of Vietnam, Hanoi, the mainland China from Cambodian territory. It is our decision and ambition as Cambodian to own and have the right to protect our legal land. Based on the Joint International Bar Association, which consists of 8 members selected by the Committee 300 based on the following legal principle. 1, the Paris Peace Accord, dated October the 23rd, 1991, the essence of the sword of war. And 2, the law 49-733, dated June the 4th, 1949, which signed by the French President Vincent Auriol, and on the Vietnamese side, consisting of King Baudai, and with the Khmer side. And the number 3 is the resolution 833-516 of the 33rd United Nations General Assembly in New York back in October the 11th, 1978. And 4th, the United States, Australia, Canada, European, and other international conventions and conventions related to the sovereignty, territorial integrity, and independence of each member of the United Nations.
Thank you, On CHHYNA. Let me turn to you, for this question. What do the Supreme Council need to do first?
Bong, to achieve the ultimate success, we have to first, we have Supreme Council of Khmer Help Khmer for Rescue, registered in many legitimate superpower countries, such as in the United Kingdom on June 20th, 2014. And then the Supreme Council of Khmer Help Khmer for Rescue is under the umbrella of the Committee 300 shadow organization with Lok Batien as the permanent member. And then second, excuse me, we have the Khmer Help Khmer Party registered in Cambodia legally since January the 9th, 2003, renamed from Khmer New Life Party to 1988. And then third, we have the UNOITC, which is, briefly International Treasury Office under the international umbrella, under the umbrella of the Committee 300 member, Council of the World Shadow Government. Therefore, the Supreme Council of Khmer Help Khmer for Rescue is an organization under the umbrella of UNOITC. The UNOITC is also under the umbrella of the Committee 300. Member Council of the World Shadows Power. This is our organization, our backbone. And fourth, besides, we also have funds, NGOs, listed companies in many countries, such as Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, America, and the European Union. So what we have, which no party, no group other than ours has all of that, Bong.
Wow. You know what? That is a very structured procedure. And now, on Kalyan, can you reiterate the political master plan that Lok Batien, has designed?
Well, again, I could not say enough about Lok Batien. This plan is very thoroughly thought out. Here are the outlines of the clear political principle we have. First, we plan to overthrow the communist dictatorship in our country. Second, we plan our strength to protect the power we control. Thirdly, we plan to spend for development the country in the first half of the year according to the urgent priority, such as healthcare and well-being of all Khmer. Then we prepared a development plan to train our Khmer children to be more sustainable and efficiency. Fourth, this is a clear political direction of a full diplomatic relations under national and international law for the legal overthrow. Bong.
Thank you, On Kalyan. On CHHYNA, what On Kalyan just mentioned, the fourth step. What is the actual plan of action of Lok Batien and his team need to do first? And second?
Bong Chavi, the plan of action to achieve our legitimate political goals, we need to have first, the policy of removing Vietnam communists from Cambodia, and second, the policy of removing mainland China from the communist government, dictators, and traitors today, no matter how much it costs, because we have the power of money, the backbone of power, the power of diplomatic relations, the power of the military, the security forces, etc. Because of the power of the money, the power of gold, the power of knowledge, the power of wisdom, and the power of unity of the Kon Khmer, which including the four Kon Khmer, Khmer Le, Khmer Kandal, Khmer Krom, and Khmer Laos Bong. Lok Batien is the only one that can liberate the Khmer land and liberate the Khmer blood to escape the clutches of Hun Sen and his crony.
Thank you, Owen. Ladies, nothing is done free. As some Cambodian all saying, about getting, the international community to come and help again. If they wait for the international community, Gold Khmer will all die, before help arrive, if they come. Yeah. So
That's
we
right.
must, so we must move forward the transition to, new Khmer Republic. Lok Batien has, financial ability to cover the cost of liberating, the nation, such as the cost of the, international legal team and lobbying the diplomatic, community remove this, this communist clause. So Kalyan, what is the other thing, beside the ability to pay the service? Please share, with our audience again, please.
Bong, in addition to money, we must have knowledge, experience, and global diplomatic relations. Also, treasures such as gold and silver, which Lopatin has and managed since January the 20th, 1995. Now, Lopatin has all the advantage and legal in using it to liberate our motherland from the clutches of the beast, like Vietnam and Hanoi, mainland China, and the puppet of the communists in the countries today. In short, it is because we have these powers and means that we dare to stand up to this current regime. Without these powers, we have little chance of replacing this puppet regime. With Lopatin ability and political strength, we would also like to inform our Cambodian brothers, sisters, Cô Khmer all over, that the issue of our nation, the issue of our motherland, the issue of our sovereignty, the issue of our national identity is an issue of our race. So, our nation is every Cô Khmer's responsibility, not just for a few people. So Cô Khmer, is we all the owner of this 4 Khmer land. So we should wake up and stand up, Mom.
Yes, lady, you both have, elaborate the ability of Lopatin. I want both of you to provide the answer to the question. Do we have the right to overthrow the, current barbarian government? On China, please start first, and then, on Kalyan can add to it on. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bong Chavi. The question is not difficult to answer, but it would be difficult for those who have not heard of this before. On many occasions, Lopatin has already sent a message to Hun Sen's puppet, his family, and his descendants, and even to all the leaders of the People's Party. The message read as follows, Bong. We want to tell you that you have no right to speak to ban us from overthrowing your government. There is no law. 2, why is there no law? Because of the word overthrow. Until we have nothing to fight against, we do this against you because you are incapable of finding justice for us for all the acts you and your entourage committed against me on December 17, 2010. And 3, we have allowed you to seek justice for us, but you did nothing because you are incompetent. We decide that we must change the regime. We change the constitution to find justice for ourselves and for the people who suffer from injustice from the Hun Sen and all your entourage. These are messages Lopatin sent over to Hun Sen and his King Sihanouk. I find this message, Bong, very powerful, especially for the pain and suffering he had gone through in 2011 for 7 months, Bong Chavi. 7 months, imagine.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you, on China, this King Sihanouk, did not even dare to respond to Lopatin because he knew that, Hun Sen made a mistake that could not be reversed and do not know how to handle it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, and this king has, of course, no interest in resolving Cô Khmer problems, as we have seen over the years. And as we all know, this king, Sihanouk, is of a Vietnamese descent, born to a mother named Paul Monique Easy, a hybrid with a French-Italian father and a Vietnamese mother. We have all kinds of documents as evidence. We all know that the truth now. All Cô Khmer know the truth now, and they can no longer hide from us. And this, based on one of the French writer by the name of Pierre Max, Bong.
Absolutely.
Bong, also this Paul Monique Easy is a spy. She's a Chinese Vietnamese communist spy with evidence such as photos who came to hide in the Khmer monarchy to kill the Khmer, to eradicate our Khmer race. Therefore, King Sihanouk is not Khmer king. He is a crow who pretends to be a cardinal in Khmer royal palace. Bong. As Khmer, the Khmer landlord does not recognize him as Khmer. He recognizes him as a treacherous king. Every time we have to talk about these kings, they are useless, and it makes my skin crawl. I'm telling you, it makes my skin crawl.
Yes, on China, on the other hand, if this king named Norodom Sihamoni really wanted to be the king of Cambodia and love Kon Khmer, then why today, Kon Khmer are homeless, use the toilet as the living shelter, unemployed on their own land, ran across the border to work as a foreigner, willing to abandon their families, parents, spouses, children of all kinds due to hunger. And women were giving birth on the street, bleeding to death. And the powerful and wealthy Chinese Vietnamese are robbing Kon Khmer properties, farmland in the most brutal and unjust way.
Mong, the king did not come out to help the Cambodian people, and we know that. Yeah. Instead, he built houses for illegal Vietnamese families because they are his family. He opened his hands to millions of illegal Vietnamese immigrants to live on Cambodian territory because Vietnamese are their family, okay? He did not protect the international treaty of the Paris Peace Agreement of October 23rd, 1991, that should be anticipated, which is a treaty to protect our independence, sovereignty, and territory integrity. Instead, he signed our supplementary treaties of 2005 and 2019 to conspiring with the illegitimate government to emerge from a fake one-party National Assembly to become a traitor king and full betrayal of the Khmer Constitution without arguing. Bong.
Wow, lady, talk about this king. We are like on fire.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. This king has not, done anything, to benefit Kon Khmer. His action all only proven to be a real puppet of foreigner.
Well, there is an overwhelming pain and suffering, starting with Lopatin. The changing of this regime is a must. Therefore, we urge the traitor, Hun Sen, and all his descendants to know that we are saying it's not our intention to do, but our ambition to protect our justice because of you. Since this king's father, Norodom Sihanouk, got crowned back in 1941, he sold Kampuchea Krom and killed Kon Khmer in the millions. Now whatever is left over, the land is eroded by the day, because of their illegal treaties with the Vietnamese and Chinese communist government, and the eastern side of our country is taken by the Vietnamese, and the Chinese are taking the western side of our country. And back in 2010, they robbed Lopatin wealth, tried to kill Lopatin in the spirit of his position, his family honors, his family, and everything else. And due to the fact this ambitious regime change event is not just reasonable, we fight to live and to protect our nation's sovereignty and dignity.
Thank you, On Kalyan. I want to tell our viewer, yes, we have every right to do the regime change to protect our sovereignty. This is not a threat, but a fact of our absolute ambition. I'm mad here.
I think I get you all worked up.
Yes, you did.
Let me kind of get myself recollected so we wouldn't have to be on fire here. I would like to send a message out to all Kon Khmer Bong living at home and abroad that Lopatin would never use people power as a stepping stone to gain power. Bong. Hun Sen will use this weapon to kill Kon Khmer to stay in power because he is one mess up guy. This man needs psychiatric help due to his sadistic mindset. Bong. Lopatin has intel power and strategy good plans to deal with Hun Sen and his puppet master. Lo Putin has the world political cloud and the financial apparatus, like Bong Kalyan mentioned all the time, to crush Hun Sen puppet master anytime. Not to mention the modern arsenal weapon at his disposal, like the drone and elite private military unit. That's the best lethal forces money could buy. Bong Chovy and Bong Kalyan.
Yeah, thank you, On. On China, can you please elaborate on the arsenal of weapon and the elite group, On?
Yes, well, Lo Putin has the best elite group, which, the Supreme Council of KHMER for Rescue has always been saying for over 2 years on our live shows. Nonetheless, there are 89 groups of special forces of highly trained men and women in contract with Supreme Council of KHMER to carry out the liberation mission at the order of Lo Putin. The arsenal weapons are the latest elite group weapon stationing not too far within striking distance. Well, the elite group have the guided missile, the fighter jet, like the F-35 drone, biochemical, or, better yet, to mitigate any counterattack the elite forces, that we need. I could tell you that we have 3 reinforcement forces supporting multiple locations in 30-minute or less striking distance if this, push come to shove. This is how powerful the elite teams are. Well, the whole operation will take 24 hours or less. Please bear in mind that this is subject to change. We just don't know. We have, politics acclimate. So circumstances, situation on ground as permitted. Again, Lo Putin will not risk KHMER life, like we said, if the operation is too risky. Well,
Thank you.
Also, ladies, during one of our recorded live shows, Lo Putin said it very clearly. His message was, do not force us. Let me say it again. Hun Sen, do not force us. All your children, do not force us. If you force us, we will decide to make you very painful. Because we are not afraid of death. In simple language, we are not afraid of death. Because I have already died once, I will make your children, your children and your family feel the pain. When, what time, I will decide. I will set the time. If you and your family want to be happy, do not threaten KHMER anymore and do not touch our colleagues. Our people are patriot Cambodians. We will retaliate you with multiple millions of pain. Again, I do not know what time it is, but we must strike when the time is right.
Wow, that is a very powerful message. If Hun Sen and the king do not get it, they must, having no clue of what hit them. I guess, they must be numb from the storm of whipping by Lo Putin. Besides Hun Sen, who did Lo Putin, warn? On China, can you shed some light, on this?
Bong, Lo Putin did send a strong message to other CPP high-ranking members, including General Thiet Ban and Interior Minister Sarkane. So the message was, what we are doing is at your urging. You all are incompetent. What you have done to us, we have the right to challenge your regime. If your group want peace, you must cease your forbidden actions toward KHMER. So we are KHMER, and as KHMER, we can communicate with one another to avoid problem. On the contrary, if you want misery, we will give you misery. We are not afraid to die for the nation. We will protect the integrity of our territory, and we will protect the right and freedom of our people. The last message, Bong, was given to the CPP leader. Well, it shows that Lo Putin has been very patient in giving those bloodsucker regime ample of opportunities to make it right. So I am confident, Bong, and completely sure that our country will be liberated and our sovereignty will be obtained. We will see the joy in KHMER's life and the bright future of our nations at last.
Thank you, lady. We have said, so much in the last hours. I would like both of you to take turn to recap the main point of what, how, when will be, involving the liberation. Let us start with own Kalyan strategy of what, how, when. Please recap on it, and then China could outline, the remaining. Thank you.
Thank you, Wong. What had taken place in the last 36 months, Lokpatian has secured, one, the support of the Committee 300, executed 2 contracts valued at $30 billion with the 8 groups of attorneys and special elite forces, allocate financial apparatus to fund unlimited budget for the next 30 years, establish 3 headquarters located at World Headquarters in Washington, D.C., legal headquarters in near Paris, France, and the administrative headquarters in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And 2, in the last 24 months, Lokpatian has mapped out the strategy to prepare for deliberation and ready to file an international lawsuit to reclaim the 21 provinces in Kampuchea Krom. Operative spies are placed in Cambodia are in a position to strike at any time. Elite military team of 89 groups are in multiple locations to strike. Lokpatian has sent notice to the Vietnamese Communist government and the Chinese Communist government of his demand to leave Cambodia alone or face the consequences if they refuse. Now, these are the summary of what had been accomplished, Bong.
That is a very descriptive summary of On Kalyan. Okay, On China, please outline how we will liberate our homeland. On, thank you.
Okay, well, how we will liberate, the Cambodian. I will do my best to outline this, how Lokpatian going to remove the regime the best way possible without having to compromise our mission. Therefore, when it comes to liberations and revolutions, the first thing that comes to mind is bloodshed, like Bong Kalyan mentioned. But the strategies that Lokpatian formulated have never been done at this level before due to their ability and capability, meaning the man who holds the most gold and the only person that controls 9 regions and 209 countries, which means, literally speaking, it was controlled by 9 people from 1944 to 1995. The strategy is to remove the current regime via diplomatic resolution, is to use lethal forces and firepower of the latest mass destruction missiles or drone. The diplomatic resolution is convince the puppet master Chinese Communist government and the Vietnamese Communist government with the financial and political pressure options to leave Cambodia with financial opportunities in the hundreds of billions of US dollars. So the Vietnamese Communist government was given an ultimatum by Lokpatian to conform with his demand or else face the unknown attack on the Hai Phong Dam, okay? And then the Chinese Communist government also were given an ultimatum as well by Lokpatian to conform with his demand or face chaos in all 5 regions that are currently facing possible uprising or breakaway, which including Hong Kong and Taiwan. CHHOVY.
Well, thank you, On China. Now, On Kalyan, please outline the possible when Lokpatian give the green light to the elite group, secure Cambodian.
Well, Bong Chavi, this is the year. 2021 is the year. Everything is in place for Lokpatian to give the green light to the elite military unit of 89 groups. As said, under the right circumstance, it could happen at any time, Bong. And KHMER lives is the top priority for Lokpatian. And with $30 billion contract to liberate, the liberation will be done at the right time and the best time for all KHMER, Bong.
Thank you, lady, for wonderful summary of what and how and when. And now we have come to the end of our show. Both of you, lady, have 2 minutes to share your thought. And start with On China first, and then On Kalyan. Thank you.
Thank you, Bong. I just like it when you say the 2 minutes of my thought. Okay, you know what, Bong? I just want to say this to all KHMER that we understand how you feel. I know it is so hard if we have to say it over and over again, and you think that we don't understand how you feel. It is difficult to envision the pain that Kong Khmer has been enduring for the past 72 years, Bong. It's time for all of us to let go of our differences and make our country great again. His Excellency Dr. Ray Chatham, along with Supreme Council Khmer Help Khmer for Rescue, is our only chance to put an end to this evil, corrupt Hun Sen's regime. I mean, like, we are the most, in critical danger of losing our beautiful country to the Vietnamese. Therefore, we must stand together to fight in order to keep our country in its original form and continue to shape our civilization and culture. For over 2 years, Bong, we have provided enormous information via the media so that our voice can be heard globally. Again, Bong, I would like to share that Lokpatian Dr. Ray Chatham has been working tirelessly to strategize his astronomical plan to build Khmer land in order for all Khmer to have a well-rounded life and a country to call home again. His accomplishment our greatest milestone, and we all know that. I can't cease to thank Lokpatian enough for his remarkable work. I have to repeat to myself over and over again that he is the epitome of all Khmer, and I am honored. I am greatly honored and grateful to have him as my leader, Bong. Thank you, Bong Chovy, for giving me the opportunity to share my thought. I think this is more than 2 minutes. Thank you, Bong.
Thank you, on CHHYNA, on Kalyan.
Very well said on CHHYNA. And yes, it was more than 2 minutes, but mine be under 2 minutes, so it balanced it out, okay? And ladies, this is the end of our 15th show. I am enormously proud of being part of the Supreme Council Khmer Help Khmer for Rescue. Every day when I hear and see the pain and suffering of Kong Khmer back home, it drives me even stronger to see that our country liberated from this current evil regime, ladies. And thank you to Lokpatian for providing us, ladies, to be part of this historical journey. And I also would like to say thank you to Lubong Sorapek that has been the driving force of our Supreme Council Khmer Help Khmer for Rescue Khmer Ladies Viewpoint program. Us ladies are greatly in debt to his support in the last 19 months. And I have learned so much from you ladies, Bong Chovy, Dory, and CHHYNA, due to, we share the same common in family value and, to go and help our people back home that are suffering, that make us ladies viewpoint team so strong, okay? So thank you, ladies, and we hope to see you again on our next show. Thank you.
Wow, lady, those 2-minute thought is like touching my heart. I'm sure it's touching His Excellency heart too. Thank you so much, and I want to thank you personally that we have all storm, fire, like couple of months, and but we stick together and believe in His Excellency, Supreme Council of, Khmer Help Khmer. Thank you so much, and I want to thank you, our audience. I have a lot of good message, very good message. They believe in His Excellency Professor Dr. Ray Chatham. They're looking forward, to, like I said, like to liberate our country, together. Thank you, lady. Thank you so much. Thank you, again, on CHHYNA, and of course, on Kalyan for all your hard work that you had put into, every Lady Viewpoint show. And lady, you are wonderful. Thank you so much again. And my fellow Khmer, Khmer around the world, hope is coming soon. Be prepared for the new Khmer Republic government for the people and by the people. The Supreme Council of Khmer Help Khmer for Rescue will ensure that all the traitors will be brought to justice. And before we close out this wonderful evening, we want to acknowledge Lok Jamtil Sawanho and of course Mr. Okso Rapik for the guidance and support of our Supreme Council of Khmer Help Khmer for Rescue Khmer Lady Viewpoint as always. And last but not least to His Excellency Professor Dr. Richard Dam. We all the Supreme Council of Khmer Help Khmer for Rescue Khmer Lady Viewpoint wish to thank you, Your Excellency, from the bottom of our heart for giving all of us here the opportunity to be part of the history. Until we meet again next month, please follow the Khmer Politics and Supreme Council of Khmer Help Khmer. If you all find this show value, please share it. Thank you everyone and good night. យើងខ្ញុំទាំងអស់គ្នាសូមថ្លែងអំណរអគុណដល់អស់លោកស្រីប្រិយមិត្តតែងតែតាមដាននិងគាំទ្រកម្មវិធីទស្សនៈស្ត្រីនៃឧត្តមក្រុមប្រឹក្សាខ្មែរជួយខ្មែររំដោះជាតិយើងនឹងវិលជួបអស់លោកស្រីសាជាថ្មីនៅវេលាក្រោយសូមថ្លែងអំណរគុណសាជាថ្មីគ្រប់និងជម្រាបលា